Today we are going to discuss about the development banks in India. These are some of the development banks occupies an important role in the economic development of our country. In this section, we are going to discuss the structure of development banks in India, their objectives, functions, and important categories of financial institutions that comes under the development banks. First we will see what is a development banks. A development banks are those banks which have been set up mainly to provide infrastructure for industrial growth in the country. The main purpose is the provision of infrastructural facility, provision of financing for infrastructural facilities in the industrial sector of the country. They provide financial assistance for both public and private sector industries. That is, the development banks provide financial assistance to public and private sector industries. They also provide long-term credit for capital-intensive investment spread over a long period and yielding a lower rate of return, such as urban infrastructure, mining, and heavy industry and irrigation system. That is, they provide long-term credit for capital-intensive investments such as this urban infrastructure, mining, heavy industry, and irrigation system. Their returns from these investments will be comparatively low, and it is spread over a long period of time also. Development banks are also known as term lending institutions or development financial institutions. That is, the development banks are known as term lending institutions or development financial institutions. They are different from commercial banks, which mobilizes short-term or medium-term deposits. Here, the development banks functions differently, or the functions of development banks are different from the functions of the commercial banks. Some of the important development banks in India are given in this section. They are Industrial Finance Corporation of Industrial Finance Corporation of India, IFCI, which started in the year 1948. This is the first development bank in India. Then we have State Finance Corporation, SFC, which was established in the year 1951. Industrial Credit and Investment Corporation of India, ICCI, established on 1955. Industrial Development Bank of India, IDBI, 1964. Industrial Investment Bank of India, IIBI, which was established on 1972. Export-Import Bank, Exim Bank, established on 1982. NABARD, established in 1982. National Housing Bank, established on 1988. Small Industries Development Bank, SIDBI, 1990. These are some of the important development banks that are functioning in India. Development banks are classified into four groups. They are Industrial Development Bank of India, which provide long-term provisioning for the industrial sector. Second one is Agriculture Development Bank, like NABARD. Third one, we have Export-Import Banks, which provide financial assistance for the export and import sector. Then we have State Finance Corporations, state finance institutions, which functions in different states. These are the broad categories of development banks in India. The features of development banks in India are given in this section. First one, it is a specialized financial institutions which provides medium and long-term finance to business units. Here, one of the important feature of development bank is that they are specialized financial institutions, or they are development financial institution, and they provide medium and long-term finance to business units. Second one, it is not just a term lending institution. It is not like a term lending institution. They do a lot of purposes, they do a lot of activities. Third feature is that it is a multi-purpose financial institutions. That is, their scopes are very wide in their operation. Next one, it is essentially a development-oriented banks. That is, development banks gives more orientation for the development of the economy. Its primary objective is promote economic development by promoting investment and entrepreneurial activity in the developing economy. The major objectives of development banks are that promotion of economic development by promoting investment and entrepreneurial activity. Another important feature is that it encourages new and small entrepreneurs and seeks balanced regional development. They provides encouragements for the new and the small entrepreneurs also. They provide financial assistance not only to the private sector but also to the public sector undertaking. That is, they provide financial assistance to private and public sector undertakings. It aims at promoting the saving and investment habits in the community. There also has the objective of promoting the saving, investment and capital formation, raising functions in the economy. It does not compete with the commercial banking channel, that is, finance already made available by the banks and other conventional financial institutions. Its major role is a gap filler, that is to fill the deficiencies of the existing financial facilities. That is, development banks are not an institution who usually compete with the commercial banking or conventional financial institutions. They are like a gap fillers. They provide the financial assistance which are or if there is deficiency in the existing financial facilities, and that is, they are just like a gap fillers. They are not a competitors of the commercial banking system in the country. Development banks were assigned the job of entrepreneurship gap filling also, that is, they provide or they encourage small and new entrepreneurs. They undertake the task of discovering investment projects, promotion of industrial enterprises, provide technical managerial assistance, undertake economic and technical research, commodity surveys, feasibility studies, etc. These activities are also undertaken by the development banks. They take up joint financing along with other financial institutions. That is, we have seen they are like a gap fillers. They undertake financings along with financial institutions or other financial institutions. Development banks also extend the refinance facilities to the lending institutions. They provide refinancing facilities also to the financial institutions. Its motive is to serve the public interest rather than profits. That is, their major motive is not the profit but the public interest, and they work for the general interest of the nation. These are some of the important features of development banks. They are specialized financial institutions. They provide term and medium term financial facilities, and they are not like a term lending institution. They provide multi-purpose financial facilities, and they are development oriented. They mainly works for the general interest of the nation, public interest of the people, etc. They provide refinance facilities. They are like gap fillers. They are not competitors of the existing financial systems of the country. They help to reduce the regional disparities, and they encourages small entrepreneurs, technical upgradations, promotion of new investment projects, etc. These are some of the important features of the development banks. That is, they are like a gap fillers in the financial sector as well as in the field, or they promotes the entrepreneurs also. The major objectives of development banks are given in this section. First one, promote industrial growth. We have seen that they provide financial facilities to both public and private sector. Second one is create more employment opportunities. First objective is industrial growth. Second one is provision of more employment opportunities. Third one, modernization and improvement in technology. Fourth one, encouragement of exports and import substitution, self-employment projects, then revive the SIG unit, improve the management of large industries by providing training, promote science and technology in new areas by providing risk capital, improve the capital market in the country, develop backward areas, remove regional disparities or regional imbalance, provide credit guarantee facilities, provide refinance facilities. These are the objectives of development banks, that is, they promote industrial growth, more employment opportunities, modernization, improvement of technology, encourage trade and import, and encourage import substitution, encourage more self-employment project, revive sick units, management of large industries by providing training, that is improvement in the management of large scale industries by providing training, then in promotion of science and technology, capital market in the country, develop the backward area, remove regional disparities, provide credit guarantee facilities as well as the refinance facilities. These are the objectives of development banks in India. In this section, we are going to discuss about the function of some of the important development banks in India. The first important development bank is Industrial Finance Corporation of India, IFCI. In this section, we are going to discuss about some of the important development banks in India. The first important development bank is Industrial Finance Corporation of India, IFCI. IFCI is the first financial institute the government established after independence. The main aim of the incorporation of IFCI was to provide long-term finance to the manufacturing and industrial sector of the country. That is, the major objective was the provision of long-term finance to the manufacturing and industrial sector of the country. It was established in 1948. It was converted into a public company on 1st July 1993 and is now known as Industrial Finance Corporation of India Limited. The main aim of setting up of this development bank was to provide assistance to the industrial sector to meet their long-term and medium-term financial needs. Major stakeholders of this IFCI are IDBI Bank, scheduled banks, insurance sector and cooperative banks. These are the major stakeholders of the Industrial Finance Corporation of India. This was the first financial institution or development bank that started in India after independence. Now it is known as the Industrial Finance Corporation of India Limited. The prime aim of IFCI is to provide medium-term and long-term finance to the public limited companies and cooperative organization. After the establishment of Industrial Development of Bank IDBI in 1964, IFCI became a subsidiary of IDBI. On March 24, 1993, Industrial Finance Corporation, that is Transfer of Undertaking and Repeal Bill 1993, was passed in the Parliament in order to privatize IFCI. Now, IFCI would be free to raise resources from open market and face competition with effect from 1st July 1993. Now, it is a public limited company. Another important development bank that is functioning in India is ICCI, that is Industrial Credit and Investment Corporation of India. It was established on January 1955 as a public limited company. It is a private sector development bank in India, and World Bank played a key role in its formation. Its authorized capital is rupees 100 crores. About 11% of its share capital is held by World Bank and other foreign financial institutions, and the remaining by the Indian banks, Unit Trust of India, General Insurance Corporation, Life Insurance Corporation, etc. That is, ICCI was started functioning in 1955, and the World Bank played an important role in its formation, and its major objectives are to finance the foreign exchange component of industrial projects. Second one, to provide assistance in the creation, expansion and modernization of industrial enterprises, encourage and promote industry development and investment, to expand capital market in the country, that is, to finance the foreign exchange component of industrial project, assistance in the creation, expansion and modernization of industrial enterprises, encourage and promote industrial development and investment, expand capital market in the country. Third important development bank in India is Industrial Development Bank of India, IDBI. It is an apex financial institution in the field of development bank in the country. It was established in July 1964. Next important development bank in India is the Industrial Development Bank of India, IDBI. Industrial Development Bank of India is the apex financial institution in the field of development banking in the country. It was established in July 1964, and the major objectives of IDBI are meet the growing financial needs of rapid industrialization in the country. Second one, coordinating the activities and assisting the growth of all institutions engaged in financing industries. That is, they are acting as an apex institution in the field of development banks. And these are the major objectives of Industrial Development Bank, that is meeting the growing financial needs, and second one, coordinating the activities and assisting the growth of all financial institutions. Another important development bank in India is Industrial Investment Bank of India, IIBI. Earlier, IIBI was known as Industrial Reconstruction Corporation of India and renamed as Industrial Investment Bank of India from March 27, 1997. It is the principal credit and reconstruction institution for rehabilitation of sick and closed industrial unit in the public, joint and cooperative sector, and those units in the private sector whose management has been taken over under the Industrial Development and Regulation Act. That is, the major objective of Industrial Investment Bank of India, IIBI, is the rehabilitation of sick and closed industrial units in the public, joint, cooperative as well as in the private sector whose management has been taken over under the Industrial Development and Regulation Act. It grants term loans and advances to sick industrial concerns for modernization, rehabilitation and balancing of equipments. It provides supplementary assistance for meeting cost overrun, correcting imbalances and other purposes. That is, their major objectives are: first one, grant term loans and advances to sick industrial concern for what? Modernization, rehabilitation and balancing the equipment. Second one, it provides supplementary assistance also for meeting cost overrun, correcting imbalances and other purposes. Next important objective is that they underwrite stock, shares, bonds and debentures and gives guarantees for loans or deferred payments of such industrial concerns. This IIBI provides infrastructural facilities, consultancy, managerial and merchant banking facilities also. It makes available machinery and other equipments on lease and hire purchase basis. These are some of the important functions of Industrial Investment Bank of India. It was established in, or it was renamed as, its earlier name was Industrial Reconstruction Corporation of India and renamed as Industrial Investment Bank of India, and started functioning in 1997. And their main objective is the rehabilitation of sick and closed industrial units in the public private sector, public private joint and cooperative sector. They provide various types of financial assistance for these sectors, and also they undertakes the underwriting facilities, infrastructural facilities, consultancy services, managerial, merchant banking facilities, as well as they provides the machinery and other equipments on lease and hire purchase basis. Small Industries Development Bank, SIDBI, is another important development bank that are functioning in India. Small Industries Development Bank, SIDBI, was set up on April 2nd, 1990 under an Act Act of Indian Parliament. Presently, they act as the principal financial institutions for the promotion, financing and development of micro, small and medium enterprises sector. That is, Small Industries Development Bank of India was set up on April 2nd, 1990 under the Act of Indian Parliament. That is, the financial institutions for it serve as the principal financial institutions for the promotion, financing and development of micro, small and medium enterprises. Its major objectives are the promotion, financing and development of small scale industries. It coordinates the functioning of existing institutions engaged in similar activities. It renders assistance to small-scale industries through refinance of loans and advances, bill finance, seed capital, soft loans, direct assistance, providing services like factoring, leasing, etc. That is, they provide a wide variety of services to the small-scale and similar sectors. It refinances National Industries Development Corporation (NIDC), State Industries Development Corporation (SIDC), State Small Industries Corporations, scheduled banks, state cooperative banks, etc. That is, they provide refinancing facilities also to these institutions. They subscribes or purchases stocks, shares, bonds or debentures of State Financial Corporation, State Industrial Development Corporation also. That is, they functions or they subscribe and purchases stocks, shares and bonds. They also initiate steps for technological upgradation and modernization of existing units. Another important objective of SIDBI is the technological upgradation and modernization of existing unit. They expand channels for marketing products of small-scale industrial sector in domestic and overseas market. That is, another important objective of SIDBI is to expand the marketing facilities for small-scale industrial units both in domestic and overseas market. Export-Import Bank of India, or popularly known as Exim Banks, are the other important types of development banks that are functioning in India. Exim Bank of India was established in January 1982. It is a statutory corporation wholly owned by the Government of India. That is, it is a statutory organization owned by the Government of India. Their major objectives are ensure an integrated and coordinated approach to solve the problems of exporters. Their major objective is that they integrate and coordinate the activities to solve the problems of exporters. They provide special attention to the exports of capital goods. They encourage project exports. They finance joint ventures abroad. They undertake and finance the export of technical consultancy services. They deal with foreign exchanges. They also render international merchant banking facilities. They provide refinancing facilities also. They extend buyer credit and lines of credit to parties outside India. They also tap domestic and overseas market for resources for undertaking development and financing activities in the field of exports. These are the important functions of Export-Import Bank of India, or some of the important objectives of Export-Import Banks of India. They mainly functions for the promotion of exports by providing financial and other types of facilities. State financial corporations are other important types of development banks that are functioning in India. State Financial Corporation Act was passed by the Parliament on September 8, 1951, and accordingly, State Financial Corporation was set up. The first state financial corporation was set up in Punjab in the year 1953. State financial corporations are state-level development banks for the development of small and medium-scale industries. in 18 states of India. That is, they are state level institutions and they promote the development of small and medium scale industries. They aims at bringing about balanced regional development by wider dispersal of industries, promoting greater investment and generating large employment opportunities. Since they are functioning at the state level, they have most opportunities for removing the regional imbalances and promoting the industrial sector of the country. Besides, they have paid up capital. SFC can augment their fund by borrowing from the government, RBI, IDBI, and from the or in the form of bonds, debentures, etc. That is, they have more scope for raising of their resources. They provide financial assistance. Some of the important objectives of or the functions of SFCs are as follows. First one, they provide financial assistance to industries by way of term loans, direct subscription to equity debentures, discounting of bill of exchange and guarantees. That is, they provide financial assistance to industries by way of term loans and they also direct subscription to equity debentures and similar facilities. Second important function is that they meet the term loan requirements of small and medium scale units for the acquisition of fixed assets like land, building, machinery and equipment. That they helps for the acquisition of fixed capital or small and medium scale industries. Third function is that they provide loans for the setting up of new industrial unit as well as for the expansion and modernization of existing units. That is, they provide financial assistance for the setting up of new units as well as expansion and modernization of existing units. They also promote the development of medium and small scale industries in backward areas. That is, they helps in removing the regional disparities in the development. Another important function is that they undertake special capital schemes for bridging the gap in equity or promotes contributions entrepreneurs with viable projects but lacking adequate on funds will be assisted by these various schemes of the SFCs. That is, they provide another important function of SFCs that they have special capital schemes for the provision of the development of the new projects and for encouraging the entrepreneurs. They create a number of schemes on behalf of the IDBI also. This is another important specialty of state financial corporations. They introduce schemes like composite loan schemes, schemes for women entrepreneurs, modernization scheme, equipment finance schemes, schemes for hospitals, etc. for helping the small medium industrial units of the country. Another important types of development bank in India is the State Industrial Development Corporation. State Industrial Corporation was established in the year 1995. They are incorporated under the Companies Act of 1956 and they are set up in different states as the state government as companies wholly owned by them with the main objectives. And the main objective of SIDC was the promotion of industrial development in all states of the country. Their main objective is to act as the catalyst agent for the development of industries in their respective states. That is, another important types of development bank that are functioning in the state level are the Small Industries Development Corporation, and these institutions also functions at the state level and for the they provide financial assistance for the industries at the state level. These are the important financial institutions that functions under the that functions under the development banks. That is, some of the important development banks that are functioning in India are Industrial Finance Corporation of India, State Financial Corporation, ICCI, IDBI, IIBI, Exim Bank, NABARD, House Bank, SIDBI, etc. These are the major development bank or important development banks that are functioning in India, and their major objective is the financing the industrial sector as well as providing the refinancing facilities to the industrial sector.